Hey guys, VSIC here. Now, as you know, or if you've ever seen, the last video that I just posted, it of course was talking about an idolater in Japan. However, this time, this is something a little bit different. And just ahead of time, I'm going to tell you it's a bit weird. And now, I'm not really big on weird or saying things are weird. So take it from me. When I say something's weird, it's probably weird. But at the same time, I don't really classify people as crazy most of the time. And there typically is always some kind of reason why people do things, even if it's kind of a misled reason. So I would say crazy for the most part doesn't really exist like some people say it does. But moving on. So let's get started on a lengthy reading here. Story time. Now, I have, of course, put this page that I'm reading on in the description below. So if you want to, you could just skip this video entirely and just go to the link, or you could just watch me hastily read this thing out to you guys. So anyway, moving on. Customers are asked to help keep conservation to a minimum upon entering Leia's Arita's home studio in Osaka. By the time makeup and costumes are done, they're expected not to utter a single word to their transformation into a doll now complete. They kind of typed that a bit off. I wanted to be beautiful and be possessed by someone, not to be dominated, but to be loved and cherished like sex dolls are. I Kanako 39-year-old nurse who traveled down from Tokyo tells EPA because this thing's taking a while to go to the next page. Kanako says the factory saved her life from suicidal thoughts she began to have 15 years ago after finding the body of her boyfriend who had hanged himself. For many years after my boyfriend's death, I was very unwell. I tried to kill myself many times, she says. Rita's unique services have provided her with more stability. It has become a place to cling to. Kanako says, when I feel like I can no longer go on, knowing that I have this place makes me strong, very strong. One moment. Jesus. I swear, sometimes that's not when I fucking go down. Anyway, the strength Kanako feels is sadly quite common in Japan's highly regimented society. As Japanese proverb, the nail that sticks out will be hammered down implies people in Japan are under enormous pressure to conform and avoid becoming that nail and outlier from the rest of society. Many feel sophisticated having to live within the confines of such strict social norms. That is where Arita and her factory of fantasies come in, catering to those with desires and dreams that might not be welcome in mainstream society. As well as providing the chance at transformation with the human love doll package. Arita offers another peculiar ceremony in which people can say their final farewells to love dolls or sex dolls, which have become dear companions to many people in Japan, a country known for its high rates of social alienation and isolation. The issue has even led to a phenomenon known as hikikomori, or as they like to call them here in the US, shut-ins. Japanese for pulling inward, reclusive adolescents, and adults who have completely withdrawn from the rest of society, starved of human companionship. Many in Japan grow emotionally attached to love dolls, going so far as holding funerals for these life-size plastic partners. I always think it's hilarious when they call these dolls made out of plastic. If it is a TPE doll, I mean, it is kind of made out of plastic, though. Anyway, sat in front of a coffin containing the body of a sex doll named Ran Lei. Kato, a transgender Buddhist monk turned porn actor. Wow, that's kind of quite a mix. Carefully handles a 3-foot-long Japanese samurai sword that is ceremonially given to the dead to fight the evil spirits on their way to the afterlife. In the corner of the room, 2 of Arita's own sex dolls appeared to mourn the passing of Ran. All right, let me read that again. A transgender Buddhist monk turned porn actor. Like I said, that's quite a mix right there. That's one I haven't heard before. All right, anyway, moving on. I kind of feel for them actually now that I laughed at them. A central aspect of Japan's Shinto religion is animism. Animism, kind of a hard word to say. To the belief that spirits inhabit all things, big and small, natural and handmade, or man-made. Holding funeral rites for sex dolls rather than merely disposing them as garbage is an extension of Ninicho Kuyo, a common Japanese practice of holding farewell ceremonies for dolls, says Kato, who plays the role of the Undertaker. A Buddha statue is a thing, but we worship it because we believe Buddha lives inside of it. The same goes for everything that we love and cherish, including sex dolls, she says, using the samurai sword. Kato points out that Buddha is neither male nor female. Buddha teaches us to accept and love who we are. We have to learn to love ourselves. I mean, agreed. Arita agrees that her services conform to Buddhist beliefs and says she wants to help sex doll owners have the best possible way to send off their loved ones. These dolls are much more than sex partners for them. They are family, and we want to treat them as such. But Arita's services also offer clients the opportunity to explore their own mortality with the Shitai Labo or Corpse Lab, which allows people to experience a sort of pseudo-death. Customers must request excuse me, in advance how they wish to die or be killed. I swear to God. In minute detail so that Arita can properly act out their fantasy and enhance the sense of reality as much as possible. Megumi Kazuki, a 38-year-old sex counselor from Osaka, wanted to be murdered by her former partner, whom she broke up with a few months ago, but still has feelings for. I wanted to be murdered by him so that I can forget about him once and for all and move on with my life, Kazuki tells EPA. I mean, that's one way of doing it, I guess. I mean, who would feel sorry? Who would want to be with somebody that wants to kill them, I guess? I mean, whatever works for you. Anyway. Once the murder is complete, Kazuki lifts herself up off the studio floor, smiles, and breathes a deep sigh of relief. I have been released. I feel great. I felt happiness every part of my body, she says. Another customer who came to experience the fake death is dressed in a woman's clothes and calls himself by a woman's name, Mako, the 43-year-old artist from Tokyo who has been cross-dressing for about 4 years, likens himself to figures from Greek mythology, Pygmalion, who falls in love with a statue of a woman he carved himself, or Narcissus, who falls in love with his own reflection in the water. Nice. Maybe I'm a bit like them, Mako says. I don't want to be a woman. I'm just attracted to the female version of myself. I swear to God, these people have issues. But, I mean, what can you do sometimes, I guess? It's a strange feeling of my body being taken over by a female version of me, he adds. It's like molting, becoming something that isn't really me, but is still me. Lying inside a coffin and listening to a chant by the blonde-haired monk, Kato Mako, who recently lost his grandmother and sister, says he felt the finite nature of flesh and blood. It made me realize that we are all walking toward death every day, step by step. I will die one day, as everyone will. Feeling death as something real made me better prepared for that day. Okay? Not much there. Contemplating your own death can lead you to think that your life to take your life more seriously. I swear. Running her finger over criss-crossing scars etched into her arm. She has tried to kill herself many times, even ever since she was a young girl. When she suffered from intense bullying, she says, I have these scars all over my body. Japan has the 7th highest suicide rate in the world and the highest out of G7 nations, according to the latest available OECD data. In the wake of the financial crisis in 1997 and 2008, Japan saw an uptick in suicides that coincided with job losses and widespread financial uncertainty. And there are fears that the current economic gloom brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic might lead to another spike, and in particularly among the country's young adults and those under 40, the most susceptible age group in suicide, or susceptible, I guess I would say. Well, they were probably right. I hope the corpse lab can offer them an opportunity to question their view on life and death from inside a coffin, Arita says. She receives overwhelming numbers of messages and letters thanking her or relieving their pain or for saving them. It is a tiny fraction in a country where some 20,000 people kill themselves annually, but Arita hopes to give people a safe place to think about their own life and death without social prejudice. In addition to providing the unique interaction services, which can cost several hundreds of US dollars, Arita takes photographs from her clients. Have a record of their experiences. She says her customers are all looking for a place where they can be loved, accepted, and approved. They are all great human beings, but have very low self-esteem. Their desire to change or be accepted and loved is so strong that this is the only place for many of them. I want to be there for them, or that. How does she feel when she receives messages from her customers thanking her for saving them? It's the other way around, Arita insists. My customers are the ones who give me strength to live my life. I'm saved by them. Okay. So, yeah, quite a page of information. And like I said, this is from Japan. And again, if you didn't hear before, if you want to read it yourself and see the pictures throughout the page, you can just go in the link below that I have in the description. Of course, if you have any more questions, comments, etc., just leave them down. But yeah, I gotta say that was quite a story. Some effed up things happening in Japan. What can I say? But anyway, I'm gonna stop this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.